Warning, this podcast will contain spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the As Seen on TV podcast for the Originals, Season 2, Episode 20, City Beneath the Sea. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me is the lovely wife, Omikins. The lovely silent Omikins.
Hi.
Hi. There you are. You're speaking. So, we are sans Dom this episode. I'm sad.
Are you really?
Not really. That's okay. We can handle it. We're good. We're fine. So, end of last week. Aiden's dead. Klaus takes the blame. And, shit hit the fan. And Klaus gets daggered. Which,
yep.
I was kind of glad, because finally you know what it feels like. Right? For Klaus?
I mean, sure, but at the same time, I don't think you really gave a shit.
Right, exactly. Anyway, we theorized how long would Klaus stay daggered, and I think we settled on till the middle of this episode.
We all settled on this episode. One was saying, you know, first scene, middle scene, near the end. I mean, we were all over the place, but we knew it was going to be this episode.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and he was totally undaggered.
Mm-hmm.
By Dahlia.
Well, Dahlia didn't undagger him. She just undid the magic on the dagger, and he pulled the dagger out himself.
Right, she just woke him up.
Mm-hmm.
Which was pretty interesting, because she put Klaus into her head to talk to him. Showed him her past, the Vikings pillaging and destroying her town except for her and her sister.
Yep.
And how her sister abandoned her to be with one of those Vikings. And how she took care of Freya because her power was, quote, devastating and uncontrollable. And that Dahlia would be the only one able to help her control that, and Hope is about to go through the same thing. Except Hope is going to have the ferocity of a vampire and the temper of a werewolf.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So that was pretty interesting, because now I don't know whether I see Dahlia as much of as much of a villain as I had originally thought. I mean, she's still a villain.
Yeah, I mean, she still wants to take Hope away, and neither Haley nor Klaus wants that to happen.
Right.
So.
Yeah. She still wants to take Hope away. I mean, she's spouting the whole for the greater good line, basically, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of villains have done that in the past. You know, I'm doing
because
this for the greater good.
A lot of villains think they're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because
right.
In their mind, they are doing the right thing. So I don't know if you can really classify them as villains if they think they're doing what they should be doing.
Mm-hmm. And she spins this whole tale to Klaus, which apparently had worked. Because she made him a deal. She said...
Oh.
Yeah.
He can relate to her.
Yeah.
Easily.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I mentioned with Dom when we kind of talked about it a little bit, which it never even came to the front of my mind, was that Klaus isn't Viking at all. He has no Viking blood in him.
No, he doesn't.
We've been calling him a Viking from the very get-go.
He's
even
not.
Knowing that he had a different dad. We still call him a Viking.
Technically.
He has no Viking blood in him.
Right, we don't know what Esther and Dahlia were, where they were that the Vikings invaded, but they clearly weren't Vikings.
They weren't.
And Klaus's dad, as far as we know, was a Native American. He was a native to North America in, the 1000s.
Yep.
So, You know what? You're right. That didn't even. As soon as she said that, you have no Viking blood in you. I actually sat back in my chair a second and was like,
Yep.
"You fucking kidding me? I never even thought of that."
Didn't even-
Wow.
It blew my mind. It really did, because it's kind of like when I found out that the actress that played Tinkerbell is actually now on iZombie. I just had that moment where no thoughts could ever be thought in my head for like the next 10 minutes because I was just focused on this one thing. That was one of those things.
Yeah, the fact that she looked, and she was the big sister in the Lovely Bones,
Mm-hmm.
or the little sister. She was the sister.
She was a sister, yeah.
And the fact that she was older and had an Australian accent. She's an Australian actress, but as Tinkerbell, that threw me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, similar effect.
Similar. Very similar.
But Dahlia kind of roped him in with, she said, I realized where I went wrong with Freya. I denied her the parental contact, nurturing parent or whatever. So she says to Klaus, give me hope and you'll still be in her life. And we'll raise her together.
Genuine about that? I mean, then she isn't a villain.
She's genuine about, but that's the thing.
But the thing, I think the reason why she's so aggressive about trying to take hope is because she knows she's going to end up like Freya. She's going to have so much unstable power that she's not going to be able to control it. And she doesn't want that to wreck everything.
That, and also, I was actually climbing the wow, Dahlia's not so bad train here. And then one of the things she said towards the end before, waking Klaus up was, I just want power. Is how she said that all she wants out of this is power. And at that point I was like, see, you're killing me here.
They need to strip Hope of her witch powers.
Yeah.
They need to do that.
That would be pretty interesting. But
this universe, it has been done before, multiple times. So
it has been.
It's not unheard of, and they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
A witch like Davina could freaking do it.
Yeah. Exactly. A witch like Davina could do it. Let's talk
about it. Even before this whole, possible advancement she's going to get, she could do it.
Right, this possible advancement. Let's talk about Davina here. So, they go to her, Cammy. First off, Cammy tells Elijah that Klaus didn't kill Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
He took the credit for it. And at that point, Elijah's just like, shit. Like, you could see it on his face, like, well, dang it, there's no going back now. Played right into Dahlia's hands with that one.
Yeah.
But they go searching, one, to find a way to unlink Rebecca from the other 8 witches, Davina included, so that she can actually help out without fear of being killed and killing 8 innocent people with her. And they discover that Davina is there trying to resurrect Cole. She's got dead chickens in a spell circle and all this other stuff. And the possible advancement that you mentioned, Vincent drops a little, now that Josephine's dead, covens are looking for someone to lead them. And this person communes directly with all of the ancestors for the 9 covens. If they want me for the job, that's not my thing.
He doesn't want it.
And he just points at Davina like, you.
I know, and he's like, well, you can learn this and this. Oh, and necromancy, you can bring Cole back. And then you see her eyes light up. I'm like, no, Davina, you're taking on that job for the wrong reasons.
Right, he's planting the seeds there. And she's doing it, she's power hungry right now.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that, hey, look, I've been ignoring chat this whole time. Dom's in chat talking to us. I'm terrible at this.
I told you, you always, that one time when I said you ignore chat, you literally do. You do.
So I'm going to go for it. He has Wi-Fi for a half hour. Tinkerbell is in Originals. I missed that episode. No.
I didn't say she was in Originals. I said that the experience that I had with the whole Cole not being a Viking thing is similar to the experience I had when I found out she was in iZombie. Mm-hmm. She was Tinkerbell right. At once upon a time.
He'll get that. Anyway, so Davina is now power hungry. She has that taste of power. It's in her grasp. That it's gonna backfire so bad, though.
It is. It is.
Dom's just saying, do it, do it, do it in chat.
It's going to happen, but it's not going to have the outcome that we think it is. Cole's not going to come back, and if he does, he's not going to be Cole.
He's not going to be...
He's probably going to be Demon. He's probably going to be a demon.
That would be cool. Introduce an actual full-fledged demon to this series. That's something they haven't covered yet.
No. I mean, kind of thought about, like, you know, doing the whole zombie thing. But I see her going a little bit further and kind of getting a little bit more dark than necromancy. Necromancy isn't technically full-on dark, but she's going to go bam, and she's going to punch light with a huge shadow that's impenetrable.
Right, and, you know, necromancy is always viewed as bad because it's dealing with the dead.
Mm-hmm. But it's not typically, like, I mean, in some lore, it's not all bad.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what do you think? Do you think Davina's going to do it? She's going to go for it?
oh, hell yeah, she wants Cole back. Like I said, she's gonna do it for the wrong reasons. If she wants this power, she has to be able to accept her responsibility, not only her promises to Cole, but her promises to the Covens when she takes this on. And she's not gonna do that. She's gonna aim to get Cole back right away. And then she's gonna dabble in the power, she's gonna get corrupted or whatever, she's gonna have this rush, and she's just gonna decide that she's gonna just flick everything over, and she's gonna do a lot of damage.
Indeed. So, anyway, moving on here. Jackson and Haley are totally on the whole get the hell out of Dodge train.
Yeah.
They're taking Hope and they're going to run, more or less, or hide in the bayou. But they do stop and give Aiden a proper funeral.
Yeah.
Not just burying him and leaving him there. They gave him a full-blown send him out to the bayou on a pyre and all that lovely stuff. Which was great, but it's not going to go over well with the newly awakened Klaus. I mean, because Dahlia put it in his head. The one thing we'll need to be safe is Haley eliminated. And I know a lot of people don't like Haley.
A lot of people don't like Haley, but the elimination of Haley isn't going to save Hope.
No.
It's not what's keeping Dahlia. It is keeping with Dahlia away because she is the mother. She's the maternal, she's maternal. She's going to protect her daughter as much as she can. But there's no mystical reason why Haley still can't be in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Dahlia wanting all the control.
Yep. So, I mean, this whole episode for me was just focused on Klaus re-becoming like the villain. Like, because he was always a villain in Vampire Diaries, and now he for originals it was like redeeming the villain, and now it's like downward spiral right back to being evil.
I don't know if it was a downward spiral. He's
not yet.
No, he's kind of always had this in him.
Mm-hmm.
He just needed the right trigger.
Right. Needed the right trigger. So, let's get to the Freya part here. And Dom had stated a bit back in chat that Freya is such a little shit, I want Klaus to lop her head off. Reason, she wants to use Hope as bait.
Yeah.
Of course she doesn't, as Elijah says, convenient that you mention this plan after Klaus is incapacitated.
Oh, well, she gets the better of her.
Yes, she does.
But I think Dahlia knows the whole plan anyways, so...
Right, so Freya's using the materials to make a null zone, basically, somewhere that would render Dahlia mortal so she could be killed. And she wants to put Hope in the middle of that, so great bait. She wants the baby, put the baby there. So, Elijah gets the one-up on her, gets a vial of Hope's blood, which, Haley was very hesitant to give. In fact, I was expecting, I kind of don't like Jackson. I was hoping Elijah would kill him, but yeah, anyway. That didn't happen. So he takes the vial of blood, and after saying to Freya, you promise me that no harm will come to her in this circle. And then she says, yes, whatever, I give you my word. He's like, good. Jab injects her with Hope's blood. You're the bait.
Yeah.
I love it. Because Freya and, yeah, Dom just put this in here. Klaus isn't the villain. The other Mikealson siblings are being played by Freya. Yeah.
See, I mean, Freya's been suspicious from, like, we've all played, we're kind of on Klaus's level of, like, yeah, she's suspicious. We're not sure if we trust her. I don't think she's evil. Okay? She's not exactly the villain either. But because all the way, like, from when she was taken as a child to now, she's always been a little bit jumpy. So she's automatically not thinking straight. And she's actually kind of mirrors Klaus a little bit. Well, not mirror. She's similar to him. She's paranoid. She's super paranoid. That's why she wants to throw the big guns at Dahlia right away.
Right. But...
And yes, Dahlia is trying to help, but she has ulterior motives, just like Freya.
She wants power. I mean, she said it herself. It came from her own mouth. I want the power promised to me. Now, Dom says in chat, Dahlia's only trying to help. Freya is the evil one.
Like I said.
Now, looking after this episode, I gotta step back and look at it. Dahlia, if you're to believe her whole story, which it seemed pretty true, she got revenge on Esther. That was the whole curse. It would advance her and her power and her goals, but she got revenge on Esther, denying, firstborns from the whole line. But she also knew that, Dom and his chat shenanigans. She also knew that the firstborn of that family line has terrible, devastating power that is very difficult to control without help.
Yeah.
So she stands to keep them secret by not having, like, hey, there's a walking nuke in a human form going through the forest. And she stands to gain more power out of it because they're walking nukes. If she can channel them, guess what? Now she's just that much more powerful.
Yeah.
And Freya, from Freya's point of view, she was stolen from her mother at, like, the age of 5.
Yeah.
And all she saw was Dahlia as being evil. She never really got over that. I mean, if Hope gets taken now, she'll never know. She'll think Dahlia is the greatest mommy ever.
It just makes Freya angsty.
It makes Freya angsty, exactly.
It just makes her angsty,
angsty
not evil.
But she's definitely playing everybody.
Well, Dahlia's playing everybody, too.
Klaus plays everybody. Yeah. Elijah plays everybody.
Elijah's not so much as... He doesn't play. He's actually quite blunt and forward. And
everybody's playing everybody, and it's just like... I just want one honest opinion from somebody.
Josh is very honest.
Yes, Josh is very honest. And Josh is also very sad.
Jackson's super honest.
I wish a character who actually had any control over anything would be super honest with us.
Yeah.
I kid. Trying to think here. I'm excited for next episode because, I mean... So Haley's leaving. She leaves Elijah a message saying goodbye.
Yeah.
Which Klaus overhears in his, unable to walk state.
He's still kind of like... He's on that edge. I mean, you would describe it as someone who's drank too much the night before and has no energy to walk around. He's kind of in that state, but he's not... He hadn't anything to drink. He was just, he's just...
Yeah, he just woke up.
He
needs blood. And he heard this, and now he knows that Haley's taking his daughter. I hate Freya more than I hate Barbara. Oh, god damn it, Dom. Anyway, I'm just excited for next episode. They're winding down the season because there's only 2 episodes left. And it looks like it's going to be a very exciting finale.
Yeah.
That's all I could say about that.
Very excited for us, too.
Yeah. So, next episode, let's talk about that. It's called Fire with Fire. And this is the official synopsis. And I gotta say, reading a few synopses tonight, this is by far the longest, but Originals always gives you long ones. After discovering that he's been betrayed by his own siblings, Klaus teams up with an unlikely ally, Dahlia, and sets off on a warpath, hell-bent on revenge. Amidst the news that Klaus is on the loose, Elijah, Rebecca, and Freya move forward with their plan to lure Dahlia to the compound and take her down once and for all. Meanwhile, Haley and Jackson attempt to escape through the flooded bayou, even as Marcel finds himself hunted by a dangerous new threat. What the hell could that be besides the villain from Season 3? They're setting up that. That's what I'm getting at. Finally, Davina is presented with an offer that could allow her the chance to bring back Cole, though it will require her to make a life-altering decision. So, Marcel's going to find himself hunted by a dangerous new threat. That sounds like setting up the big bad for the next season.
No. I don't think that...
Or the dangerous new threat is a Klaus out for blood.
No, that's... Klaus is never going to be a new threat. He's been a threat from the very beginning. So, I don't know if they're... I don't feel like it would be the setup for the Season 3 bad. I don't know. Don't.
Anyway, from the promo that I saw, Klaus is standing, blood dripping down his face, standing over a bunch of bodies, monologuing that he feels like his old self again. And one character is talking about how Klaus would kill anybody who would get in his, get between him and his baby and try to take hope away from him. And then Elijah states, right now, that's Haley. And then Klaus, I forgot what he says. He says something, like, isn't it lovely, brother, or don't be that way, brother, or whatever, and Elijah screams no. So. I have a feeling they're going to kill off Haley again.
I don't know. I don't think... Unless they get rid of Hope, too, I don't think they should get rid of her.
I'm not saying they should. I'm saying that's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
I don't know.
I don't know either. And then here's Dom. Davina is going to bring Cole back at the expense of someone else's life. I have a feeling that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because as Vincent said, you're going to need a hell of a lot more power than that, lovely little crystal there.
Oh, God. What if it's Davina?
What?
When she gains all this new power, what if she goes crazy and starts going after Marcel? What if she's the new threat because she's a life-altering decision for herself? It's her life-altering.
Trade Josh for Cole, Dom says. No, that would be her thing. Trade, a friend that she loves for, a love that she loves.
You have to trade an actual life for an actual life. Whereas Josh is not actually living. He's on the cusp.
Yeah, but...
He's not a truly living being.
She'd be able to channel Josh for more power because he's a vampire.
But what Dom's getting at is giving a life to get a life.
Right, I gotcha. Now you're saying Josh is going to want to be with Aiden.
That makes sense. But, I mean, what... You couldn't trade a vampire to get a human. You couldn't do that.
No. Right, that was the thing I forgot. I just read, escape through the flooded bayou. I forgot. At the end, Dahlia summoned a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
She's like, Haley's not going to... they're not going to get very far tonight. And I'm thinking... Oh, what the hell is she gonna do? Like advance the lunar cycle and make a full moon or some shit like that?
They wouldn't.
But then I'm like, exactly, they wouldn't turn anyway. They got those fancy dancy rings.
No, they don't even need the rings anymore.
Right, they don't need the rings
Haley
anymore.
and Jackson are connected. They're all hybrids.
I forgot.
Look at this guy. This guy doesn't know anything.
I know stuff. I just forget fine details. I thought it would be cool, which moves moon. But instead, she just summons a thunderstorm. Might just need the vessel. I don't know. There's a lot that's gotta happen, and I'm excited. Kind of curious what's gonna happen by the end of this. Are they gonna defeat Dahlia? Is Freya actually playing? Yeah, I mean, I know Freya's playing them, but to what extent?
The only way they can stop Dahlia is if they get rid of Hope or just get rid of her powers. Make it so that Dahlia has no interest in her anymore. Or kill her. You know?
Or kill her. And I have a feeling they're, Dom said this how many episodes ago? I agreed with him. I think you agreed with him too. That they're going to probably have to kill Freya in order to kill Dahlia completely. Because they are tied together.
They are linked, but the link works the other way.
Mm-hmm.
If you kill Dahlia, since Dahlia is channeling Freya, Freya would die with Dahlia. It's kind of the same way with Eva Sinclair's body and all the other linked kids. If Eva dies, those people die.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dahlia's not going to crash the moon into the bayou.
That would solve no issue right there.
No.
No, that would just...
I doubt that.
They would kill everything on Earth.
I don't think Dahlia would even survive that.
No, Dahlia would not.
So anyway, I think that's our show. Do you have anything else you want to mention?
I don't know.
You don't know.
They're throwing so many things at us right now. All we can do is watch and just... Wait.
I like speculating, but unfortunately, there's very little I can do at this point.
Mm-hmm. Because with this universe, we know Julie Plec and all her other writers that help her out, they know how to throw twists at you at the very last second.
Right.
And you could be the best. You could be a freaking psychic and know the future, and they'll fuck you over. They will change it on you.
And something I read in an article before we did this podcast, I forget where the article was from, but someone wrote that they love the way the writers of this show humanize their villains. They do it better than any other show, and I have to agree.
They do.
All their villains, even good characters who were once villains, they humanize the hell out of them to the point where you can actually see them as a good guy.
You learn to love them, but you're still cautious.
Yeah, right. Elijah started as kind of a villain.
He's a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Vampires are all, in a way, villainized because of the way they have to sustain themselves.
True. But anyway, that's our show. Oh, I love this series. It just keeps getting better and better. It really does. All right, so Omi, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyYvenom24.
Indeed. You can find me on Twitter at Thilidrin. You can find all of us, on Facebook, Gmail, Twitter, Google+, MySpace, and YouTube at ASOTV Podcast. Follow us at those places for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. In the near future, Avengers podcast. Looking forward to that. Among other good things.
I'm not sure if it's confirmed yet, but expect it Wednesday at 9 p.m.
I believe that is the time we're shooting for. You can check out our places I just mentioned for the schedule.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Ciao.
Ciao.